Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. We are live. Hello, everybody. I am happy to be here with you. One thing I want to ask you before we continue is, can you guys hear me? If you can leave a comment in the comment section about the sound, the audio. Can you guys hear me okay? Now, I am excited to connect with you today. This is kind of due. I have been thinking about how this life was gonna go. Okay, you guys can hear me. Awesome. Heavenly Ego say yes. Heavenly Ego says I hear you. Perfect. You guys can hear me. Awesome. So this life is gonna be about me having a conversation with you guys. Okay, I don't have a specific agenda about this live stream. Hi, hi, Letitia Williams. Hi, Abe. Letitia Williams, I'm happy to see you, to see your comment. And we have Abdurrahim Mark. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering your name. Thank you. Jeffrey Cook, hi. Guys, I'm gonna be kind of looking away. I'm gonna be looking over here because I have my laptop here. So I will be focusing on my laptop sometimes to see the comments because it's hard for me to see the comments over here. I love you guys too. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Yes. Who else is here? Mike Terrell. What's up? What's up, bro? David Spake. Hi, Dio. Hi. Feliciano Rando. Hi. Hi, my friend. Who else? Who else is here? Who else did I miss? Yeah, so basically, you will see me kind of go back and forth between looking at you guys and looking at my laptop. Is because I'm gonna be reading the comments over here. So who else is here? So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of you for taking the time to tune in and hang out with me this afternoon. I also appreciate those who will watch this video later on. I'm going to start with a Q&A. I have a couple of questions here that I would like to answer. But before I answer these questions, I want to say that I'm grateful to all of you for supporting the channel. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sending me emails. The questions I have are basically the emails that I have received from all of you and some of the comments that I have selected from my comments on some of the videos. And I'm also going to answer the questions that you guys will ask on the live chat. Okay? So let's see what we have here. Okay, so there's a first question about a Sprinter van. Small amount of oil in turbo going to what? Hold on, let me see if man, these questions go by so fast. Small amount of oil in turbo going to air cooler. Well, a little bit of blow by. I believe you are talking about a Sprinter here, right? So a little bit of blow by on the outlet of the turbo is kind of normal on these small diesel engines. But if it's a lot of oil, that is most likely a worn out turbo. Usually what I see here in the shop is these turbos would go out. The seals inside the turbo will wear out and then they will start allowing oil to leak in the turbo, and then eventually they blow out the seal on the resonator, that little black piece on top of the valve cover on the driver's side. So what's the other question? How to find power ground signal without wiring diagram? That can be hard, guys. If you don't have a wiring diagram to find power and ground from of what system, for example, what system are you referring to? Are you trying to test a module or are you trying to test a specific component? So you have to have a wiring diagram. It's like trying to drive somewhere without having the road map, unless you know where you're going. If you don't, you're gonna need a GPS, right? That's kind of what wiring diagrams are. What else? 2006 Chevy Silverado, PO 300, code going on and off, new fuel filter, spark plugs, and wires. A PO 300, I have a couple of videos here on the channel where I had addressed this trouble code. I mean, I'm gonna have to ask a couple more questions to know exactly what's going on with the vehicle, because a PO 300 can be caused by, several things: fuel pressure, mass airflow sensor, vacuum leak, all kinds of things. So if you have already replaced the fuel filter and the spark plugs and the wires, I would say check your fuel pressure. Make sure you have the correct amount of fuel pressure. Do you recommend rebuilding the turbo? No, I do not. I actually recommend, with the sprinters, I mean, I have a sprinter here behind me. With these sprinters, I recommend getting OEM turbos, okay? I do not recommend getting aftermarket or rebuilt turbos because they are not worth it. So I get OEM. When it comes to certain components, I just go with OEM because it saves me time and a headache. What's the next training even you'll be attending? What's next training I'll be attending? That's a great question. I try to attend a lot of training events because, I mean, as you all know, in this industry, if you don't keep up with technology, if you don't learn every day, you cannot remain constant. You're either moving forward or kind of stepping back or going backwards. So the next one will probably be ASTE in North Carolina. I was there last year and I'm planning on going again this year. What else? So Jeffrey Cook says, I have a crank no start issue with my X5 E70 N63 engine. The car dies while driving and would not start. How can I tell if it's getting fuel? Well, I would duplicate the concern first, like what's going on while you're driving it. When it dies on you, hopefully you have tools with you. Go open the hood and crack an injector. You have to do this safely though, because this can be very dangerous. So do this safely. If you have a scan tool, connect your scan tool to the vehicle. Actually, connecting a scan tool is the safest way, okay? Connect your scan tool to the vehicle, drive the vehicle, and watch your fuel pressure data pit. If your fuel pressure goes down to 0 when the engine dies, that means you're losing fuel pressure, or you can go under the hood and crack a fuel line and crank it again and see if fuel comes out. But that's not safe, okay? That should be the last thing you want to do. So don't go crack fuel lines under the hood. Just I hope you have a good scan tool that you can use. Okay. Is there a safe additive to quiet a noisy lifter? I do not recommend any additives, guys. In my opinion, they usually don't work. Most of them don't work. So I don't have an additive in mind that I can recommend. Everything okay, but now I see brake lights on. Okay, are you Abe Kwazim? I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, Abe Kwazim. Are you talking about this? I'm sure you're referring to a Sprinter. I replace the brake pads aftermarket. Yeah, I mean, I do install aftermarket brake pads too, but if you installed aftermarket brake pads, but make sure you get dealer sensors though, because aftermarket sensors tend to not work. Now, Ronnie Weingart, sorry, I'm bad with names, so I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names, guys. Please please be patient with me. Ronnie Weingart says 93 Toyota 22RE having a long crank when hot and very rough idle, no codes. Long crank when hot can be, since it's a 93, I have seen a lot of injectors actually go, failing injectors. So basically what happens is the resistance of the injectors would change when the engine gets to operating temperature, and that causes the engine to not start or have it a long crank. So I would check your injectors. Make sure if you have a scope, you can scope the injectors when it cranks and doesn't start. And then David David speech David speak David speak says, what's your favorite testing methods for solenoid functions? I always use a scope. If I'm testing a solenoid, my favorite testing is using a scope. It's easy, it shows me detail. I love using a scope when I'm testing a solenoid. Now, if you don't have a scope, I understand some of you do not have scopes. You can use a multimeter, but a multimeter has a lot of limitations. So there are some things that you may not see, or you can even misdiagnose stuff if you're just using a multimeter. So be careful, but I love using a lab scope. Why most of the mechanic is men instead of girls? Snoopy asks why most mechanics are men, not girls. Well, I mean it's a man-dominated industry, but there are I know a lot of techs who are female, a lot of great techs who are female who I actually admire and value that do great work. So, but it's mostly men that work on vehicles, but there are a lot of women that do that too. But I don't have a right answer. I don't have a specific answer for that. I don't know. I don't know. So Jeffrey Cook says, I connected a scan tool, no codes, it won't start. I have Spark. I just can't tell if it's getting fuel. I hear the fuel pump running while cranking. Okay, well, if you have Spark, you hear the fuel pump running. Well, hearing the fuel pump running doesn't mean anything. I mean, are you actually getting fuel to the injectors? I would make sure I'm getting fuel to the injectors. And then I will also make sure that I have compression. Make sure your engine's got compression. Okay, what else do we have? Ronnie says, you're good, buddy. Thank you. Thanks, Ronnie Weingeard. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Ellen Alan Witten says 2008 Chevy Impala lost communication with instrument panel cluster control module. Okay, well, yeah, I deal with a lot of these here at the shop. You lost communication, yes. I would some of the tests I would do. I would make sure that the cluster module is getting power and ground. You've seen me do that on the channel. Make sure you have power and ground for any module to operate correctly or to even turn on. It needs power and ground. Make sure you have power and ground. And if you do have power and ground and you're still not communicating to it, make sure you have your communication wires are good. I will check the communication wires after that. Ronnie One Gear says, tried replacing injectors and new ones flooded out. Can only run all the injectors. Oh, this is going fast. Can only run injectors. A bad MAF sensor cause new injectors to run where rich. Yes, a bad MAF sensor can cause cause an engine to run rich and seeping injectors. If you have injectors that are seeping instead of spraying, that can cause an engine to run rough as well. Run rich. Ladisha Williams says, I like that question. Shout out to the female mechanics. Yes, yeah. Shout out to my sisters out there. Shout out to the great techs who are doing great work. I specifically know two techs here I live in Frederick, so in the Frederick area, I knew two female techs. They're actually ASC Master Certified techs, and they do great work. Most women probably don't want to get their hands dirty. I don't know. That's kind of debatable, though. I've seen some ladies who enjoy getting their hands dirty, so it depends. Feliciano Rondo Elod says, what scope do you recommend for beginners in diagnostics? I get these questions a lot. What scope do I recommend? So if you're trying to get into diagnostic work and you're trying to start with a scope, I would recommend you get a good quality scope and a scope that's user friendly. Now, a good quality scope is pretty pricey, and you just have to think about, because I've looked at a couple scopes out there that are cheap. but then they're kind of hard to set up, and they're kind of so. I would recommend getting a Snap-on scope. I started with a Snap-on scope. Snap-on scopes are very user friendly. You know, they're very easy to set up. You don't have to go buy a new Snap-on scope because they are expensive. You can go buy a used one, uh, a used Verus that has a scope on it. You can start with that. So I would recommend a Snap-on scope just based on personal experience. I started with it and it was easy. And having the guided component section that they have on Snap-on tools makes a huge difference. Like, it helped me a lot. So what are the questions we have? Ladisha Williams says, I'm loving this Q&A. Keep up the great work and content, Dio. Thank you very much, Ladisha. I appreciate you. Thank you. Mike Terrell says, do you know the best site to get wiring diagrams from? My scan tool does not have the feature. I get my wiring diagrams from Mutual Pro Demand. I get most of my wiring diagram from Mutual Pro Demand. There's Identifix out there. Now, if you do this as a professional, you can get a subscription. They are actually subscription based. You can get a subscription and access this wiring diagram. But if you do it as kind of your do-it-yourselfer, you like to work on your own vehicle, they also have a do-it-yourself section. I think you can purchase for certain amount of days to access the wiring diagram for a specific vehicle. So Mutual wiring diagram is good. Identifix, all data, and OEM diagrams, but they're a little pricey to get. So what else? Are you self-taught on vehicles, or did you go to school for this? Great question. Planet Mula. Did I say your name right? Planet Mula. That was a great question. No, I'm not self-taught. Some things I kind of taught myself, but my dad was a mechanic, so I grew up learning from my dad. Okay? Actually, growing up, I didn't want to be a mechanic, That's kind of ironic. Would you believe that? I didn't want to work on cars. So he made me work with him at the shop. I was kind of the kid that grew up, following his dad in the shop because my dad owned the shop. And after that, I went to school. So he encouraged me to go to trade school. So then I went to trade school. I did automotive for 2 years. So I did automotive technologies. And the next 2 years, I did diesel technologies. So I learned how to work on cars for 2 years and then trucks. So I did the automotive technology and the diesel technology. And then after that, I did machinery. So I did tractors and machines. So yeah, and then after that, I just kept doing training. So I got ASE certified, and then I kept going to training, watching YouTube videos, reading books, and after that, that's all I did. Off-Grid Victory says, why would you rather buy a pre-dev Sprinter before 2010, given equal price and mileage to DEF 3.0 liter diesel engine? Well, the previous ones had lesser issues. Now, the after treatment system, which the DPF is part of, that system is actually a good system when everything is working well. So I know a lot of us technicians have issues with those systems, but the thing is, we have to make sure that these diesel engines are running well. If the engine is running well, the after treatment system is going to last for a long time. So I do my best to maintain the vehicles of my customers and our fleet over here. So usually when a DPF goes bad, it's because there is something that's causing the after treatment system to not operate properly. So make sure your engine is running well and your DEF system will work well also. So if I could choose, I would choose the new one. Like, I like the new technology. I like the new stuff. I like the new systems. They're safer. They run great when everything is running well. So, make sure you're keeping them maintained, and they're good system. Ronnie Windgear said 2013 Nissan Sentra Uh, 835567 has CVT transmission, starting to sleep at lower RPMs. Do you recommend changing transmission fluid and filter? Yes, if it's only starting to sleep, yeah, that's usually what I do. If I have a transmission that's starting to sleep, I would start with, doing a service first. I would check when the last service was done, and if it's due, I will do that first. But if you're doing this from a shop, make sure you notify the customer about a potential comeback, or this may not fix the issue because you never know. So it may be long gone. So yeah, I would start by checking the fluid first. David Speed said, "I have one for sale." Okay, okay. Jeffrey Cook says, "Do you deliver remote training? If so, what is your fee for a 1 hour remote training for 1 hour remote training session while we diagnose my crank nose stat on a X5 using FaceTime or Zoom?" Well, I mean, to be honest, no, I do not, because of basically just the time. Like it's hard for me to find time to do training. I do my best to put out the videos out there, and I'm glad the videos have been helpful. So, and I'm glad for the feedback I get from all of you. No, so I'm not doing any training sessions right now, but in the future I might be able to do so. So I'm thinking about it. I have friends that have suggested that maybe I should come up with some type of training material, or maybe some type of training course. I don't know, but I have to figure out what goes into it, and maybe in the future I'll come up with something like that. Which brand of car would you say is the most reliable? Which brand of car is the most reliable? Guys, it depends. It depends. Like that's a tough question. It depends. Like uh I like domestic vehicles, like uh, you know, Ford, Mercedes. I mean, you will notice on my channel, I work on a lot of makes and models, and I try not to kind of box myself as the Mercedes guy, or the Sprinter guy, or the Ford guy. I try to touch different things, and it keeps it interesting for me, because if I just focus on one thing, eventually it gets boring. So, I mean, Europeans, Mercedes, they're reliable. Ford, the new Fords are awesome. So that's what I would say to that. Mike Torres says, "Thank you." Yes, you're welcome, bro. You're welcome, Mike. Planet Mula says, "Which brand of car has the most issues?" I I don't know. They all have issues. They all have issues. I don't know. Maybe someone else can chime in the comments and answer that one. They all have issues. I don't know. Which ones do I see here the most? It depends, guys. It depends. So John Morgi. John Morgi. Am I saying your name right, John? John Morgi. What is your advice on training? Is it best to start in shop or go to school then to shop? Great question, John. John Mwingi. John Mwingi. I hope I'm saying your name right. That is a great question, John. Well, it depends. I did both. I kind of did both. I went to school and I worked at my dad's shop. Okay, so I was kind of, so I would go to school, and then after school I was working with my dad. So that's kind of accelerated my training. Now, starting at the shop is good. I have friends that never went to trade school. I did go to trade school, but some people didn't, and they're great techs. I know a lot of great techs that never went to trade school. Some of them are not even certified, but they do great work. So if you can start working at a shop, go learn from someone who has a heart of a teacher, someone who wants to teach and transfer their knowledge over. Learn from them. Hopefully it's someone who's good, and then do training. Always train. Always train. Like, always train. Technology is changing. Like, there are times here in the shop I feel like I'm the greatest. There are times I feel like I'm the most intelligent person on earth, and there are times that I feel I'm the dumbest person, because there are times where I just don't know. I just don't know. So it's like ups and downs, and you can never know everything. So start at the shop, and then you need some type of training, even if you don't go to like a formal school, but like professional training. You stop doing that. I mean, start doing that, and you'll be fine. So Abraham Durant says, I'm here in the Caribbean island of Antigua, and through getting a subscription from All Data, and IB was told they don't have coverage outside of the US and Canada. Is there any other site I can check? Abraham, I'm kind of confused. I don't know. I'm sorry. I probably didn't really grasp your question. Are you asking about the service information, like how to get service info through All Data or Mutual Pro Demand? I would call these guys. Like, you can Google them. You'll find their number and call them and see what they offer. I'm sure they will tell you what needs to be done, depending on where you are. So you should be able to get these from them. Just call them. Just call them, and then they will definitely direct you through that. Okay, let's move on. Any test light diagnostics tips? Any test light diagnostics tips? You guys have seen me use my test light a lot. I love using a test light because it loads the circuit. You can tell if your wiring is the issue or not. But you also need to know what type of light you are using based on the load you're trying to substitute. Okay. Now, test light tips. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I use the test light a lot. And one tip. Let me think about this. Test light tip. I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back to that. I can't think of any right now. Feliciano Rondo Elod says, how do I know if the fuel trims are okay? Well, there is a rule of thumb out there that's we've all been using. The rule of thumb is plus or minus 10%. So you have your total trim, short term plus long term. The total trim should be plus or minus 10%. So if your trim numbers are within that threshold, if they're within that plus or minus 10%, you're good. Ronnie Weingart said, the fluid had burnt and has never, to my knowledge, been changed. Thank you for your expertise. You're welcome. You're welcome, Ronnie. You're welcome. What else do we have? Snoopy says, which brand of the car you don't like to fix and why? That's probably a Saab. Do you guys know that one? A Saab? I actually have two customers that have a Saab, and every time they bring that Saab, actually I don't even bother filming when I'm working on a Saab, because they're just a bunch of like a load of crap. Okay. A Saab, I don't like working on a Saab. Why? Because first of all, finding and a lot of the Saabs, actually, they are kind of dying out. There isn't enough of them out there. So I don't like working on a Saab. Why? Because finding service info can be challenging, and the way they're just set up, like the engine bay is so compact. There's just so many things on top of each other. Like it's a mess. Okay, it's a mess. So a Saab. Okay, what else? I'm sorry, guys. I hope you guys don't mind as I'm looking away from you guys. Okay, I'm looking away to read the comments. I did mention that earlier. So, hello, where are you from? So we can meet. I am in the States. I am in the state of Maryland, in the United States of America, and I live in the city called Frederick. Okay, Frederick, Maryland. That's where I live. And our shop, this shop is in a city called Dickerson, which is about 35 minutes away from Frederick, from where I live. Okay. Can you suggest some of online courses about hybrid cars, especially the free ones, please? Technician student from Morocco. Oh, hey, my friend from Morocco. What's up, my friend? Yusuf Zegiri. My friend Yusuf, hello to you. I really enjoy watching your videos. They are very helpful for me. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad you enjoy watching the videos. I would recommend, if you want to get into hybrid vehicles and electric vehicles, which I am myself getting into, and I'm still learning a lot about them right now. If you want some free material, I'm going to recommend you check out Weber Auto YouTube channel, John Kelly. Actually, I'm excited. I'm gonna go see John Kelly in Utah. He's actually a professor at a university in Utah. Professor Kelly. He has a great YouTube channel out there where he brings all of us, his viewers, in his shop. He shares a lot of great videos and a lot of great insights on these hybrid vehicles and electric vehicles. So watch John Kelly content and just buy books, get books online. Go to aeswave.com. Go to aeswave.com. They have a lot of technical books there. Go to the book section, and most of them are good. I've read a lot of them. I have, like I learn from everybody. I get bits and pieces from all the great technicians out there. So, get stuff online and check out John Kelly and check out, a lot of what else, there's a lot of great content here on YouTube. Like a lot of, there was a guy, I'm forgetting his name. I'm sorry. I was watching his YouTube video the other day. He's doing a lot of hybrid videos. Great content, but for some reason I can't think of the name. So I would recommend you do that, my friend. So let me see. I'm sorry about the comments that I've missed. Sorry, guys. I have a 1995 GS 300 start and stall. I have spark and fuel and compression. Please, what is the problem? Start and stall. You have spark, you have fuel, you have compression. Interesting. Well, I mean, this can go various ways. I mean, you can have a coil that's failing. Even if you have spark, when it stalls, check your spark then. Do you still have spark while it's stalling? Are you losing spark? You could be losing spark. Now, do you have good fuel pressure? Okay. Some things, one thing that we tend to overlook sometimes is fuel pressure and fuel volume. So do you have good fuel pressure? Do you have enough fuel volume? So I would check that. What else do we have here? Close cut says, I dig the way you found the auxiliary battery under that truck frame with the corroded battery terminals and wires. It almost got you. I remember because the alternator wasn't charging. Yes, my friend. It's like, we learn every day. Like there are some vehicles that kick your butt, some vehicles you fix easily, some, and this is one of the reasons why I love my job, and this is why I love what I do, because like you can never know it all. Like there are some vehicles you can fix and like kill really fast. Some vehicles, they just kick your butt. Like sometimes I go home and sometimes I even lose sleep over certain vehicles, so it's just hit or miss, and it's good. Like it keeps me kind of on the edge, and it makes me want to be better and want to learn, and it also humbles you. You get a vehicle that kicks your butt, and then when you figure it out, when you fix it, there's just that great feeling that you feel, that sense of accomplishment that you feel for figuring out the problem and fixing it, and helping a customer. So I get my butt kicked all the time, guys. Okay. So what else do we have here? Uh, Adam Adam Brewer says 2003 Corolla with a 1.8 liter, getting cylinder misfire codes and igniter circuit malfunction have changed the spark plugs, ignition coils, and rewired the pins to the coils. Any suggestions? Maybe ECU. No, I would not go with the ECU route, Adam. I am going to focus on this igniter circuit. Make sure you fix the igniter circuit trouble code first. Okay. Now I would look up the code setting criteria and then familiarize myself with what causes that code to be set, and then maybe that's too technical for you. I don't know if do you do this professionally or is this your own car you're trying to fix? If it's your own car you're trying to fix, I would say I don't know what direction am I gonna point you to. Fix the igniter circuit code first, because you could have an open in the wiring, so your problem could just be that, as simple as that. Okay. Feliciano Rondo Elob. Am I saying your name right, bro? Feliciano. If I wanted to buy a used car, what should I look at? Great question. When customers bring vehicles to me to look at before they purchase them, the first thing I look at is, I look at the under the vehicle to see if there's a lot of rust. Of course, you don't want to buy a rusty vehicle. You want to look at around the engine bay. Make sure there isn't a lot of oil leaks. Look around the valve covers. Make sure the valve covers are not wet. Make sure your valve cover gaskets are not leaking. I would look at the color of the oil. I would look at the color of your engine coolant. I would look at around your oil pan. Make sure your oil pan is not covered with oil. Just look for wet spots around the engine. If it's really, really wet, then that's probably not a good deal. And test drive it. See how it shifts. Make sure it shifts well, and check your transmission fluid. Make sure your transmission fluid is not burnt. Make sure it doesn't smell burnt. Make sure it's not really dark. So these are the things that you can quickly check. What else do we have here? My man Angus Alamezi from Nigeria says kudos. Yeah, kudos, my friend. My friend from Nigeria. I'm actually from Congo. I'm originally from the Republic of Congo. So I was born and raised so I was born in Brazzaville. For those of you who are in Africa who know a little bit about Congo, I was born in Brazzaville and I was raised in Pointe Noire, and I moved to the States when I was 23. So, pure African guy right here. Okay, so hello, my friend. Hello, all of you guys out there. So Abe Quinson says, just pulley spinning when not calling for AC. I did not understand that question, my friend. You say only the pulley is spinning and the AC doesn't come on, or it doesn't blow any cold air. Well, the issue could be, so if your compressor does not engage, if the clutch doesn't engage, that's probably what you're referring to. If the compressor doesn't engage, you could have low refrigerant. You could have an electrical problem in the circuit that turns on the compressor. So it could be a couple of things. What else do we have? Adam Brewer says, after changing the coils and spark plugs, the codes went away and then came back, and now stalls at low RPMs. This is personal car, but have some knowledge of mechanics. Okay, that's awesome, Adam. That's great. So you change the plugs, you change the coils, it stalls. I would check for fuel. I just did a video here on a Lincoln. I think it was Lincoln um, MKT. You know, it came from another shop, and you know, they changed the coils, they changed the sparks. It was stalling, losing power. It ended up being a defective fuel pump. Okay, so the fuel volume was not enough, so that was causing it to stall. And the interesting thing was, it wasn't stalling all the time. Sometimes it was fine. It could even be fine for like 2 3 days, and then every once in a while it would stall. Okay, so John Mwengi says AES Wave books are they free? No, you're gonna have to buy them. The books on the AES Wave site, you're gonna have to buy them. But you know, watch a bunch of YouTube videos, watch my videos, watch other people's videos, watch Scanner Danner videos, watch Eric O videos, watch all the great YouTubers out there. You know, like watch Ivan videos, watch, you know, just consume a bunch of content, read books, go to training seminars, and you should be fine. You skip my question. Which one? Which question did I skip, Abe? I'm sorry. There's like, this is, I mean, guys, also, this is my first time doing this, and I didn't know that the questions were gonna be kind of going fast. So, you know, I gotta think and process, and so I'm sorry if I skipped your question. If you can kind of pose it again, I'll do my best to answer your question. Okay. Akwande Kehinde. Did I say your name right? Akwenda Kehinde says, I am in Nigeria. Please, how can I get Snap-on, Verus, and Scopes? I mean, you should be able to like get them online, right? You can buy them online, and I think in Africa, if I'm not mistaken, back home, people get stuff through what's this shipping company that's big in Africa? Oh man, I'm forgetting the name. You can ship it to them. Hold on, their name is gonna come. In French, I mean, I speak French, guys. In French, we call it DHL. It's DHL. Yeah, DHL. Yeah, there you go. I had to think about it in French so it could come quickly. Yeah, DHL. You can actually order that and then have DHL deliver it to you in Nigeria. And then Snoopy says mostly aircon pump damage or valve problem. Okay. Can you kind of maybe ask the question, because I sorry, I didn't understand the question. Okay. Okay. So Olajinge Coker. Okay, am I saying that name right? Sorry, guys. I'm probably butchering all your names. I'm sorry. I apologize. Olajinge Cooker says PO1 22, PO2 45, PO1 on the Mercedes Sprinter. APP1 has 5 volt, APP2 has 0 volt. You are truly good at what you do. How do I fix these codes? Oh, thank you. How do you fix this code? You gotta figure out why the APP2 does not have the reference voltage. Okay, sometimes they share one reference voltage. Make sure the reference voltage is there for all of them. Okay, and then if you're still not getting that, I would start by get the wiring diagram first. Get the right wiring diagram so you can know where the power comes from, and then just follow the wires. Okay. So John Mwengi says 5 best diagnostic channels. 5 best diagnostic channels. I don't think I can pick 5. There's a lot of them. There's a lot. I already named a couple. Like, there's a lot of them. There are a lot of great channels out there that, that I watch, that I learn from. A bunch of them. So I don't know. A lot of these guys are my friends also. So I just don't wanna pick 5 and then leave the other ones out. Okay, so there's a lot of great ones. So Mayowa Odus says, can you reuse a double layer metallic head gasket after taking it off a cylinder head? That's that that's take a case study like the 2GR FE engine seen on a Lexus. No, 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 no. I mean, I don't know. It's not recommended to reuse head gaskets. No, don't do that. It's not worth it, my friend. It's not worth it. Feliciano Rondo says Ford C-Max 2003 windshield wiper not working. How can I diagnose it? I would start by looking at the wiring diagram first. Okay, look at the wiring diagram, see how it's wired, and then figure out, if it's missing power or ground. Some of them are power or ground switched. When you turn the switch on, it grounds the path to the motor, and then they start working. So I would go there first, because it's just hard without the wiring diagram. And then you can either start from the switch, working your way to the motor, or you can start from the motor, working your way back to the switch. So it just depends on how you want to go about it. Okay, so okay, Abe says looks on top the list. I don't know, what do you mean? Which scan tool? Which scan tools? MZ, thank you for the. Is it MZ? Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the 279 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate you. What was the question? Which scan tool brand do you like the most? I think that's what you meant. What brand do I like the most? To be honest, I don't have a favorite. So if that's what you're trying to get out of this, I don't have a favorite scan tool that I like. It depends on the vehicle. Like I said earlier, I don't like to specialize. Although I work on a lot of sprinters, I work on a lot of Mercedes, Mercedes, BMW. Some people call me the sprinter specialist, but I don't think I'm the sprinter specialist. I work on a lot of them. I try not to specialize. So the scan tool I use also depends on the vehicle I'm working on. Okay. So if I'm working on a European vehicle, I tend to use a Autel. If I'm working on a domestic vehicle, I tend to use a Snap-on scan tool. But I kind of tend to use the Snap-on. I kind of use the Snap-on a lot more, because I like the way the data is written in the Snap-on scanners, because the way they write the data bits is just so awesome and so easy to understand. The data on the Autel can be kind of sketchy sometimes. Okay, Ladisha Williams says someone asked if mechanics get paid well in the state. Oh, really? Okay, I missed that question. Yes, mechanics get paid well in the state. Yes, yeah. I mean, a lot of us do very well here in the state, but you just don't want to be a mechanic. You want to be a technician. You want to be someone that that fixes these computer controlled systems. What you don't want to do is, one thing I would tell my my younger brother, who's actually a mechanic also. He just finished trade school. You will be seeing him soon in my future videos. Don't just be the guy who changes the rotors and the pads. There's nothing wrong in just changing rotors and pads. Change the rotors and pads, do the oil changes, but also make sure you're working on these advanced level stuff. Make sure you're doing advanced level stuff. Make sure you're working on these computer controlled systems. Make sure you are go into the hybrid, go into the electric vehicles. That's kind of where the future is taking us, right? It's not even the future, it's here already. So I don't even know why I'm saying the future. It's not the future, it's here. So yeah, you can make good money being a mechanic, but you gotta be the kind of the you gotta be the real deal, and then the money will come. It's just like you gotta serve people. It's just like anything. If provide great services, serve people and do great work, and money will come. Okay, the best website for Mercedes schematics. The best website. You can get dealer, you can get OEM wiring diagrams. Guys, I kind of want to apologize to some of you. Maybe I missed your question. I wish you could see what I'm seeing over here on my screen. The questions are just are flying by so fast. So sorry if I missed your question. I'm really doing my best to answer all your questions. So Mercedes OEM scan tools. I mean wiring diagrams. Get the OEM ones. If you cannot get the OEM ones, then it's kind of hard. Guys, I struggle a lot with these printers. Getting the OEM wiring diagrams on these printers is a pain in the butt. Okay. And I mean, I have a couple friends that work as a dealer, so sometimes they would email me a wiring diagram. So if I'm really in a pinch, I can reach out to them. But yeah, I mean, the OE, you can subscribe to the OE website and access the wiring diagram there. So that's probably what I'm gonna start doing soon. Okay. The wiring diagram is showing white wire directly from ECU to APP2. Do you have any idea what sensors have the 5-volt reference wire with APP2? I can't see any sensors in the diagram. I don't know. I mean, I don't, to be honest, I don't have any idea, guys. This was Olaji. I mean, no, you're gonna have to just look at the wiring diagram. The wiring diagram is your roadmap. That's where the info is. Okay. That's how you're gonna know. So Mike Terrell says, when doing a timing chain, should all the correct timing marks be above sprocket in the middle? What engine are you working on, and what engine are you referring to? When you're doing your timing, when you're replacing a timing belt or a timing chain, you have to make sure all your marks lined up. Like, look at service info and follow the steps on the service info. That's what I do. Like, when I'm working on pretty much anything, I look up service info first. Now, all these systems, a lot of these systems are kind of the same. They're very similar, and you can kind of just have a sense of how things are set up. But it's always good. You can never go wrong by referring to the service info. So refer to service info, look at the marks, and line up all your marks, and you should be good. Off-Grid Victory says, what would you charge for a Sprinter van oil cooler gasket change, like in your video? You're gonna have to email me for that, my friend. I try to not say publicly how much I charge. So I charge book time. I'm going to look up how long it takes, how long service info says to replace that. That's what I'm gonna charge you, and then we're just gonna do that times the dollar amount we charge here at the shop per hour. Okay, so I don't remember exactly. I think it's an over 10 hour it's a over 10 hours job. So yeah, it's over 10 hours to do the oil cooler on a Sprinter van. So yeah, send me an email. There's my email right there. I'm sure you have my email, or it's do@kaleva.org. Send me an email, and then I'll send you a quote. Okay. Okay, what else do we have? Jeffrey Cook says, which scan tool would you recommend for a weekend DIY mechanic for BMWs? Autel all day long. I would recommend the Autel tool. You don't need to go get the Maxisys Ultra that I have. You don't need that. Just go buy. They have a I'm forgetting the name. It's I think it's a I am something. It's a tiny little pad. Actually, I have my friend, my bishop, my bishop, who actually is interested in cars, and he fixes. We have done a couple of videos on the channel here. He usually brings some vehicles that he needs help with in our shop here, and sometimes we film them together. So he has this tiny little RTL tool that he has. I like it. It has a good size screen. You can graph your feeds and stuff. So I think it's about $800 or $900. So I would recommend that. It's really good. You can also do some bi-directional tests with it. So RTL tool. What else? Feliciano Rando says, if the windshield wiper switch is in the 0 position and the earth passes. Oh, when you say earth, do you mean ground? Okay, okay, that kind of threw me off a little bit. Okay, the earth passes. What component would be the one that does not work well? What component? Well, again, it goes back to look at the wiring diagram. Like if you have ground, is your relay good? Is your fuse good? You know, I would, make sure that you're checking that. Get the wiring diagram, and then just follow the current path and figure out, check your relay, check your fuse. Okay. A father to the fatherless. Hey, what's up, my friend? A father to the fatherless. I appreciate you, my friend. I appreciate your comments. A father to the fatherless says, where are you located? I am located in Dickerson, Maryland. The shop is in Dickerson, Maryland. Okay. Youssef Zegari says, what about ALLDATA? Is it worth as place for wiring diagram and service information? Yeah, ALLDATA is good. I don't use ALLDATA. I have a friend who uses it. He likes it. ALLDATA is good. So if you can get a hold of ALLDATA is good. MZ says, lol, in the continent, some countries call ground earth. Yeah, I mean, come on. It threw me off a little bit. I was like, earth? I mean, when you think about it, earth, ground, I guess, same thing. I mean, my friend, I don't know, I forgot who it was. Oh, Feliciano Rando. Tell us which country you're writing from, if you don't mind. Tell us in a comment, please. I would like to know. But I understood what you said, though. I understood what you said. And I'm not trying to pick on you or anything. Okay. Okay. Off-grid Victory says, is the RTL with TPMS sensor program worth it, or just buy regular RTL computer and separate generic TPMS programming computer? I mean, try not to mix the two. If you want to get a TPMS tool, then try to get a TPMS tool. Okay. I do have a specific tool here that I use for TPMS sensors when I deal with TPMS issues. And then, if it's just when it comes to like diagnosing trouble codes and systems, I use my Zeus and my Ultra that I use all the time. Yes, guys, thank you. You guys are writing in the comment where you are watching from. I appreciate it. Please, if you can let me know where you're watching from, I would appreciate that. This is so cool, This is so cool. This is so cool. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned this already. Watching the comments and replying to the comments is my favorite part about creating content. Like, it requires a lot of time and effort to make these videos, edit them, upload. There isn't really enough money in them, but I appreciate and I love knowing that the videos I'm producing are helping you guys out there. So I used to watch a lot of videos and I got help from so many channels out there, and I just wanted to kind of just help out also, just kind of also step up and contribute to the YouTube community also. So to me, this is why I'm doing this. So when you guys tell me where you're watching from and how these videos are helping you guys out, that's the best thing you can do for me. Okay, please just let me know. I really appreciate that. You guys make my day when I read these comments. Okay, what else do we have? Snoopy says, do you what is do you are you recording video for YouTube while you're fixing cars, like finding problem and solving? Yes, most of the videos is live. Like as I'm diagnosing, like I'm also fixing. It's not like I diagnose first, then I come back. I might be doing that because what some of my friends do is they actually diagnose it first, and then they would actually, you guys need to let me know, because this is something I'm trying to figure out. Because what other content creators do is they would diagnose the problem first, figure out the problem, and then kind of bring you up along, which kind of speeds up the process. That's why the video can be a little shorter, you know. But for me, I just kind of keep it organic. I want to keep it real. Like I want to see, I kind of want to struggle a little bit. When a lot of you say I tend to repeat myself a lot. Like I want to repeat myself. I want, like I struggle, like and I want to show you my struggle sometimes, and you can help me in the comment. But some people fix the issue for, they figure out the issue first, and then they turn on the camera to show you what they did. Now, the good thing about that is the video can be shorter, because I know some of you don't want to watch long videos. But what do you prefer? Do you like it when I take you with me throughout the process, or do you think I should be kind of just diagnosing the issue and then bring you guys along afterwards? So to answer the question, I'm filming as I'm diagnosing the vehicle. So most of the time I don't know what's the problem or what's going on. So when I turn on the camera and I tell you customers complaint confirmed, that means I am also just starting to look at the vehicle just right there. Okay. All right. Mayowa Odus says, Mayowa Odus says, I'm from Nigeria. I need a used 6-gallon air compressor. Can you help? I don't know. You can send me an email. Send me an email if I can talk to my supplier. I do have a lot of stores, like parts store and tool stores that I work with. I can actually connect you with them, and they can sell you a compressor and send it to you. So send me an email, and then I know some people, so I can connect you with the right people that you should talk to. I'm not so good in Feliciano Rondo Elob says, okay, before that, sorry, I was gonna miss this question. Off-Grid Victory says, thanks for your work. Oh, my pleasure. You guys make it all worth it for me. You guys are awesome. So Feliciano Rondo Elob says, I'm not so good at, I guess he meant I'm not good at English. I'm writing from Equatorial Guinea. Oh, okay. Sounds good, my bro. Sounds good. Yes, sounds good, my brother. Central Africa. Sounds good. Snoopy says, a mechanic watching this from Malaysia. Awesome, my friend. Cheers. Cheers, my brothers. I am Sidekin from the Gambia. Oh, you're watching from Gambia. Okay. You're from Gambia, but you're watching from Spain. Man, thanks for your hard work. You are doing great. Thank you very much. This warms my heart as I hear this and as I read this. So thank you very much, my friends. John Mingi from Kenya. What's up, my friend? Yes, John. It's good to have you here. It's 2 a.m. Wow. I appreciate you, John. So you woke up at 2 a.m. to watch this. Wow. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Bugsy A1 says, questions for you. The rough count fluctuate up and down, and not all the time, but when it does, also indicator play up. It's a G. What do you mean? So you mean it runs rough? No, an engine running rough can be caused by a couple of things. We talked about it earlier. Like you know, make sure you have good fuel pressure. Make sure your coils are not dropping out. You know, that's basically what I can say. Pedro Martinez. Pedro Martinez from Chicago. Hello, my friend. Um, Lobos0094 says, hi, I have a Honda Odyssey 2008 EXLD. Lights start flashing after 50 milliliter per hour. No code is set. It drives fine. Replace all transmission sensor and still doing it. Do you know what can be the cause? Like what do interesting. Why did you replace the transmission sensors? Did you have transmission? I need to get more info about your question. I'm sorry. I need to get more kind of info before I can accurately or give you a good answer. Okay. Why did you replace the sensors? Off-grid victory says, I like when you confirm customers' complaint. It's very frustrating when the dealer tells you there's nothing wrong with your car. Yeah, I mean, you always have to confirm. You know, it's like, you know, sometimes you get a vehicle here, you know, the customer says one thing and then you walk to the car, you drive it, and it's like, I mean, there's nothing wrong, you know? So, you know, so it's always good to confirm the customer's complaint. And I'm glad you guys like it. So I'm glad you guys like when I say customers complaint confirmed. Maybe I should. By the way, guys, this is my new merch. Okay, I'll talk more about this towards the end of the live stream. You know, this is my new merch, and you know, maybe I should be putting customers complaint confirmed on the back of my shirt. Now, these merch will be available soon. My YouTube store will be available soon, so you'll be able to access these shirts very soon. Okay, it says Kids Diagnostic, and I'm gonna tell you why very soon. Okay. David Spitz says, David, am I saying your name right? Is it David Speech or Spich? David Spitz, Central Illinois. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for being here. Yusuf Zegari says, I enjoy watching your videos. It's more useful. Actually, this type of videos need to be more realistic without much editing to get the information and understand the process very well. Yes. Yeah, I like what you said, Youssef. I like what you said. But the other thing is also one thing I think about. You guys can tell me what you think about this. What I think about is I also don't want the videos to be too long, because if they're too long, they can be kind of boring also, you know. But I also want to show you what's going on, you know, because some of these videos can be super long, you know, and I make the type of videos that I can enjoy watching myself. Like 5 years ago, when I didn't want to do electrical work, when I didn't want to diagnose electronic issues, if someone kind of showed me the type of videos I am making, I was gonna be like, wow, this is what I want. Because you will notice that in my videos, I take my time and I try to make things kind of simple. I try to break things down in like layman term. Like English is my second language, you know, like I didn't grow up speaking English, and English is hard for me. So some technical terms were really hard. So I try to kind of make it simple for everyone to understand, and for myself also to understand. Okay, so Bagri A1 is watching from Australia. Thanks, my friend. Ladisha Williams is watching from Maryland. Ladisha Williams, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. David Speech says, how is it owning your own shop? David, this is a great question. Okay, David, this is a great question. This shop, I do not own it. Okay, I do not own the shop, but I am about to own the shop. I'm actually working on owning the shop. I actually work for a company that has a fleet of school buses and Sprinter vans. So I maintain their vehicles, but So I maintain the vehicles, and they also allow me to use the shop for my kind of my side business. But I'm working towards opening up a shop. So I will definitely give you more info, or maybe I would tell you more about it as we go. Actually, as I'm working on it. One thing I'm planning on doing. I'm probably gonna have to make a poll here on the channel so you guys can let me know what you guys think. So what I'm going to do is, as I'm starting, because as I get a place where I'm gonna have my shop, I'm gonna bring you guys along from the get-go, from when I get the shop all the way. Because I mean, I've been working on cars my whole life. My dad was a shop owner, and I wanted to be like my dad. And I have worked for this company for almost over 8 years now, and it's been great. I love working here, but I'm also at a point where I'm getting ready to open up my own shop, and the owners of this company really support me with that, and everything is going well. So very soon I'll bring you guys along, and so there will be maybe how to set up a shop, or even some of the I can't talk. Maybe some of the difficulties that I'm going to encounter as I open up my own shop. So I want to bring you guys along in this journey. So just stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot of things coming up. Okay. You are very good. Thanks for sharing. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I am said. I agree. I agree with you, Seth. I always like it when you show it all on camera. Okay, if you guys like the long version, because the thing is, guys, what you guys need to do is, I'm gonna do my best to create good content for you guys out there. But what you need to do is watch these videos, like the videos, and comment. Because when I look at the views, I'm like, okay, if this video is not getting a lot of views, that means my community does not like this type of content. Then I don't make it. That's kind of how I do it, because some videos can be really, really beneficial to me. When I look at them, I'm like, this is going to be awesome. But if I upload it and if it doesn't have a lot of views, then I'm like, okay, because I'm going to make a lot of what you guys are going to watch. Because the more views I get on one video, then I'm like, okay, this video did well. This is probably what my community wants, and then I'll make more of that. So if you like the videos, like them, comment. That's how I'm gonna know, what kind. Just let me know. Send me an email, then I will make the type of videos that you guys like, and let's make them. I'm here for you guys. I love you all. So it's awesome. Okay, what else do we have? Aquenda Kahin said, please, I'm dealing with a Corolla 2009. Oops, I'm about to miss your comment. 2009 model with a P0606 code. ECM processor code. Replaced PCM and still the code came back and problem not solved. When you have a ECM processor code, the issue ends up being the ECM itself, because that's usually a problem within the PCM, the internals of the ECM. Now, if you replace the ECM and the same code comes back, did you get a new ECM? Did you get a used one? So you could have just gotten a defective ECM. So when it comes to ECMs, I try not to use aftermarket stuff. Okay, I use OEM stuff, because it's not just worth the headache. So if you can get OEM new parts, get the OEM ones. Okay. So what else do we have? Okay, let me read here. Sorry, guys. Sorry if I'm missing your comment. I am sorry. Okay. Mayowa Odus says, confirming a customer's complaint is a good step in the right direction. It helps to know what the customers want to fix on their vehicle and also avoid working blindly. Yes, I agree. You nailed it, my friend. Aquenda Kayind. Sorry, guys, if I'm butchering your name. Please, how do I have access to a wiring diagram of cars of about 2020 model? I see I'm getting a lot of questions about wiring diagrams. I mean, how do you get access? How do you access them? You know, OEM, OEM, aftermarket will be mutual pro demand, all data. Now there will be some vehicles that especially the newest one, like let's say 2023 or 2022, some wiring diagrams may not be available. I remember a couple months ago, I think 6 months ago, I was working on a Dodge Ram, and this was a new one. I think this was a 2000, I think it was a 2022, I believe. Yeah, so this truck was only a year old, and I didn't even film the video because it was just a mess, and I was tired that day, and I was like, no, I'm not filming. But it was kind of a good one, and I couldn't find the wiring diagram. I had to call the dealer, and no, actually, what I did, I called Mutual Pro Demand, and even the guys at Mutual Pro Demand, they didn't have the wiring diagram of the particular system I was working on. They had to call the dealer, and then get it from the dealer, and then emailed it to me. So on these newer vehicles, it can be hard. So if you have Mutual Pro Demand, you should be able to call them directly. If you have Mutual, All Data, or Identifix, you can call them, and they should be able to get those for you. Okay. What else do we have here? I changed the transmission sensors after seeing people on YouTube having same problem. They said to replace third sensor, but didn't work for me. Thank you for your help. Okay, this is Lobos0094. My friend, as much as I love YouTube, YouTube is great. There's a lot of content out there, a lot of great content. But sometimes this is why we test things. So now, if it's your only vehicle, I would recommend, maybe buy a multimeter, learn some of the basic tests, and then try to test things instead of just replacing the sensors. I don't recommend just replacing components. You need to test stuff before you replace them. And if you don't have the proper tooling, you can have it diagnosed. Take it to a shop, take it to someone who can diagnose it for you. And if you are mechanically inclined, you can do the repair yourself. Have them diagnose it, have them tell you the problem, then you can repair whatever the component is, or you can replace whatever the component is by yourself. I would do that. What sport are you good at? Planet Mula says, what sport are you good at? Soccer, my friend. I play soccer. Actually, growing up, I wanted to be a soccer player. I love soccer, like, man. So I was rooting for Chelsea, Chelsea, Didier Drogba, was one of my favorite players, Shevchenko, So yeah, soccer. I still play every once in a while now. I still play. Yeah, soccer is my sport. Feliciano says, how can I find out what is causing the check engine light to come on? Scan it. Use a scan tool to know what's causing the check engine light to come on. Use a scan tool, connect it to the DLC connector, scan your engine computer. Okay. All right. So next level auto diagnostics says, when is Abraham going to be helping you again? Oh, okay. Okay. One of you remembered Abraham. So Abraham is going to be, so he's in school right now. He comes every once in a while on Saturdays. But this summer, he's going to be full-time here in the shop. He actually told me, he said, so I'm his uncle. He says, Uncle Dio, I want to be better than you. He says, I'm going to be the best mechanic. So I love it. Like, he learns so fast. Like, it's just so cool to see my nephew, like, showing interest in, like, what I do. And, he actually has a video games that he plays about, like, how to take engine apart. Like he's been playing this game where he like puts the crankshaft, the block, the cylinder head and stuff. So he's already learning how to take an engine apart, which is amazing. So you will see him a lot this summer. And yeah, he will be here again. You will see him. I'll tell him that you guys asked about him. I'm sure he's gonna watch this live video afterwards. Okay, what else do we have? Close cut says also I like seeing when you check the components before you replace the items. Do you do confirm before installing? Yes. Yeah, I try to, because one thing I don't like is comebacks. And as I fix these vehicles, I learn also, these vehicles have so many systems, like you can't know it all. There's always something new to learn. So I try to always learn new things, see how I try to take things apart. I try to always take things apart and learn how they work and stuff like that. So yeah, I always like to confirm, what I like to do is, if I tell a customer this is the component you need, it has to be that. Okay, I try to be accurate as much as possible, because I know there are times I'm wrong sometimes, but I try to be accurate. That's what I strive for. I want to always be accurate as much as I can. Daniel Aris. What's up, Daniel? My friend Daniel is here. Daniel Aris. Are hybrids harder or easier to work on? To be honest, hybrids are easier to work on when you have the proper tools and the right training. Okay, if you don't just go trying to touch hybrids if you're not properly trained, because you can hurt yourself. If you're trained, if you have the right tools, they're pretty straightforward. They're very straightforward. Thanks for the question, Daniel. Vidal says, you ever reseal a valve cover? You ever reseal a valve cover on the V6 sprinters? It's been a long time. I don't remember when was the last time I did a valve cover reseal on a sprinter. I mean, yeah, it's doable. Like, yeah. Is that what you're getting ready to do? Mayowa Odus says, for the P0606 on the Toyota Corolla 2009, the code is always accompanied by a defective O2 sensor. So let that man check it. Let that man check if he has one stored up. Let me fix the O2 sensor code and he would be fine. Okay, I don't know how to answer that, my friend. David Sipich. I'm butchering these names. I feel bad. Favorite music? Congolese music, my friend. Congolese music. Rumba. I like rumba. Congolese rumba. Yeah, Congolese rumba. I like Fally Ipupa. We have a singer back home called Fally Ipupa. I love that guy. I listen to him all the time. SV Herbert says, how would a car RPM tachometer? I'm sorry, I cannot. I didn't understand the question, my friend. Daniel Harris says, I live in the UK now, so I have to relearn how to drive. Oh, Daniel, you are in the UK. Wow. Daniel, in the UK, is the steering wheel on the is it the right? Yeah, is the steering wheel on the right? Yeah. Oh man, that's interesting. Yeah. And say hello to the family, my friend. Say hello to everyone over there. So I7 says, you skipped my question. Which one? Sorry. I'm sorry if I skipped your question. Which one? Guys, I'm sorry. The questions are coming in so fast. So it's kind of hard to keep up. I apologize if I have skipped your question, my friend. Aquenda says, "How do I call all data or mutual pro demand so they can call the manufacturer? I don't know. I don't know. I'm in Nigeria. You can find their number. If you go to mutualprodemand.com, the contact info is there. Now, since you are in Nigeria, you're out of the country. I would recommend writing them an email. Send them an email first, because if you call them, you may not be able to reach them. But send them an email, and then they will be able to direct you or help you. Okay. How would you check a car? Okay. Here's your question. How would you check a car RPM on a car without a tachometer? And there is a one wire connector on the engine bay. How would I check for an engine RPM? Car with no tachometer. I will use my scan tool. Like, connect the scan tool, look at your engine speed data pid. That's what I would use. So David's speech says, what has been your favorite training event, whether in person or online? Favorite training event? Vision. I was at Vision, Kansas. Yeah, Vision was my favorite so far. So I went to Kansas City for a training event. I went to Vision. Just the way the whole thing is organized, the classes, the instructors, the people you meet there. Sometimes it's all about networking also. Like, the technicians that were in those classes, like, top notch. Like, I learned a lot being over there. And I also met Bernie Thompson, who's a guy that I really admire and I really love. So it was good to meet him and talk to him. I've learned a lot from him. So yeah, Vision was my favorite so far. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, Daniel Harris says, it's on the other side, yes. So I have to reacquire muscle memory. Oh yeah, I bet. And I have to remember that my blind spot is different. Yes. Yeah, that's interesting though. Wow. That's good. That is good, but I'm glad you got everything under control. Mayowa Orders says, what do you use in cleaning up oil spillage on the workshop floor? I like to keep the shop clean. We used to use oil dry. There's this the bags that they sell of oil. It's called oil dry. So if you accidentally spill oil on the floor, you can pour it on the oil. It soaks all the oil up, and then you can clean it afterwards. Now, we have a friend here that has a sawmill. So sometimes I go get some sawdust, and sawdust works very well. It's cheaper, so that's what we use sometimes. Okay, awesome, guys. This is awesome. This has been great. I'm going to end this very soon. I wanted to go live for at least an hour and a half. I'm not gonna keep this too long, guys. I really appreciate you all. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for chiming in from the get-go. I actually have questions here that I actually printed and I wrote down, and I didn't even get to them. You guys just started with the questions, and I love it. So thank you very much. Okay, Ladisha Williams says, at I7 asked if you think electric vehicles will affect mechanic jobs in the future. He also wanted to know if you worked on electric cars. That is a great question. I'm sorry that I missed your question, I7. I'm sorry I missed your question. That's a great question. Well, electric vehicles are already here. Hybrid and electric vehicles are already here. So it's not even a question of the future. They're already here. Now, are they going to affect mechanics jobs? What do you mean? Like, in terms of, do you think we are not gonna have enough enough work in the future? No, I don't think so. Actually, there's a lot more opportunity. There's a lot more opportunity for mechanics. To be honest, this era, this generation, this time is the best time to be a mechanic. Like I said earlier, don't just try to be the mechanic replacing brake pads and struts. Okay, that's not the type of mechanic you want to be. You want to be the guy that does pretty much a little bit of everything. You know, that you do the brakes. Yes, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Do the brakes, do the struts, but do the drivability stuff. Make sure you know how these computer controls systems work. Let me tell you, I am L1, L2, and L3 ASC certified. I have my ASC certifications in electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles. And I've done a lot of trainings on hybrid and electric vehicles. A lot of these electric vehicles work the same way as these conventional vehicles. You have temperature sensors there. You have electric motors there. You have, like a temperature sensor, like a thermistor is a thermistor. Whether it's taking the temperature of the engine or whether it's taking the temperature of the high voltage battery, it is a thermistor, okay? So it's not going to affect the technicians in the future. It's going to affect those who don't want to embrace that technology and learn. But if you want to be, if you want to kind of, if you don't want to feel stuck or if you don't want to kind of feel left behind, embrace it, learn, and you'll be fine. So there is no, we're not going to be affected. I think there's a great opportunity there. The future is bright. Okay. So Feliciano Rando says, where do you buy your gloves? They seem resistant. Yes, I buy my gloves from Napa. My local Napa store provides these gloves to me. They are Challenger. I'm looking at the box over there. They are Challenger gloves. They are very good. Yeah, they don't tear out. They don't tear up easily. They're very great gloves. I love them. Okay. And I wear gloves all the time that if I take my gloves off and like touching wrenches kind of feels weird. Like, even when I'm like scanning stuff, I'm always used to like wearing gloves and and I keep my hands and my fingers kind of clean. So my dad used to tell me, if you go in the shop and you see two mechanics, one is clean and one is dirty, he used to say the dirty one is the one that doesn't know what he's talking about, and the clean one is the professional. He's the one that knows what he's doing and what he's talking about. So my dad used to tell me a professional mechanic is always clean. If you're dirty, it means you're not a professional. Now, that's debatable. You can debate that, okay? I know some great guys out there who are great mechanics, they don't keep themselves clean, but that's what my dad used to tell me, and I kept that, and I always remember that. Okay. Don't forget to don't forget. David's speech says, don't forget to join my Discord. What do you mean? Okay. Daniel says, I want to get an electric Peugeot. Oh yeah, Peugeot in Europe. Yes, you should. An electric Peugeot, but my mom wants me to get a Jaguar. I mean, get what you like, man. Get what you like, bro. If you like a Peugeot, go get a Peugeot. Actually, back in Africa, when I was working back home, I worked on a lot of Peugeot, Renault, and a couple of Toyotas and a lot of Hyundais. Yeah, Peugeot. I miss those cars sometimes. Okay, what else do we have here? Aquenda says, I'm the one that mentioned about the PO606 code on that Corolla. Please, can you reply on that guy on my behalf that I don't have a defective O2 sensor? Can it be cause my wire? Okay, so what you're saying here is you don't have a defective O2 sensor. Okay, sorry, I'm kind of I don't know what you're referring to, but sorry, I kind of lost that comment. Sorry. But guys, I'm sorry if I didn't if I didn't reply or if I didn't answer. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the end of the day and I'm starting to get tired. So thanks for being here with me, guys. I appreciate you. If I didn't answer your comment, or if you have a question that I didn't answer, first of all, I apologize, and you can send me an email. Send me an email, and then I will answer your question via email. Okay? I'm so sorry if I didn't get to your question, if I didn't answer it. And I also appreciate you that are I appreciate all of you that are answering to other people's comments or questions, and I appreciate you that bringing up these other questions. Like Disha Williams, I appreciate you for bringing up that question earlier that I missed. So I appreciate you for bringing the questions back so I can see them, because it's just going fast and I'm missing some of them. So I apologize. Would a Xtools D8BT be a good scanner? Dr. Drop, I don't have any experience with that tool. I'm not familiar with it. So I don't know if it's a good scan tool. I haven't put my hands on it yet, so I don't know what to say about that. Maybe someone in the comment section can chime in and share the experience about that tool, but I personally don't know anything about it. Okay. So Dr. Drop says again, which scanner would you recommend in the 600, 700 range? Thanks, Dio. Yeah, my pleasure. I would recommend a Autel tool. I kind of said it earlier, an Autel tool. They have this tiny little, I think it's IM608, if I remember correctly. They have this, I think it's IM908, I think. They have this like tiny little Autel tool. It's really good. If I didn't have a scan tool, and if I wanted to get a new scan tool, like, to start diagnosing these issues, I would start with that. And I believe it's like 800 or 900 bucks. It's very good. You can do some bidirectional controls with it. So it's good. Okay. My man Daniel Harris says the UK pronounces Peugeot different than the French do. They pronounce it Peugeot, like a cat Peugeot. Really? Okay, that's interesting. David Pitch says, any tips for ASE test? Any good study guides for books? Yes. Tips. Watch YouTube videos. Okay. Watch my videos. Watch Scanner Dana videos. If you are prepping for ASE tests, they will help you a lot. Get Motor Age. I think it's Motor Age magazine books. Motor Age. It depends on what series you are studying for. If you're studying for the A series, get those books, read them. They have ASE test prep study guides that you can. I think you have to buy them. They're actually online. They're a series of questions, and then when you fail, I did those. Like I've done those for like years and years. They really help. So get those, and any other book you can kind of put your hands on. Okay. All right. What else? What else do we have? How can I improve fuel efficiency on my 2014 SUV? How can you improve fuel efficiency? That's an interesting question. Well, make sure that your injectors are not worn out. Make sure that your engine is running well. I would look at my fuel trim numbers. Like, is it burning more fuel than it should? And yeah, make sure you don't have worn out injectors, because I've seen injectors seep instead of spray, and that can alter your fuel efficiency. Okay. So yeah, Tony Hope, my man Tony Hope, thanks for being here. So he did a tune-up, change air filters. Change all two sensors and change all converters. Why did you change them? Did you change them because they were defective, or did you change them because you were trying to fix the fuel issue? I'm off to bed. Heavy eyes. It's 10. No, it's 12:39. I'm in Nigeria. Wow. Mayowa Otis. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Now, guys, we're gonna have to end this soon. I appreciate all of you for being here. I'm going to make a big announcement now. So, although I didn't get to these questions that I did prepare, these are questions that you guys ask me, the emails I get, which I really appreciate. Thank you very much for submitting your questions. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for sending emails. So I'm going to end this live stream very soon. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is I am going to change the name of the channel. Okay, so the channel is no longer going to be called K Diagnostics. Okay, so my last name is Kitoko. So when I was creating the channel, I was thinking about names, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna call it K Diagnostics because K is my last name, and diagnostics, that's usually what I do. I diagnose stuff. So, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Now, as I said earlier, I am preparing to open up my own shop, and I'm working towards getting everything lined up so that that dream of mine can come to pass. So I have talked to a lot of my customers because some of you are customers of mine that bring vehicles here in the shop, and I was thinking about the name that I was going to name my shop. As I kept thinking about it, I was kind of brainstorming and figuring out the name for my shop. I came up with this name, Kids Auto and Truck Repair. Okay, I work on cars and trucks. Now, Kids, why Kids? My last name is Kitoko. My dad, who was the best mechanic in the world, in my opinion, I learned from him. My dad passed away about 4 years ago. I miss him a lot, and sometimes I wish he was here to see who I have become. I grew up learning from my dad. I wanted to be like my dad. I wanted to do everything like my dad. He taught me everything. He made me go to school. He told me, make sure you become a great technician. Make sure you always learn. You don't know it all. He said the moment you know it all, that's when you start going backwards. That's when you start falling. Always look at yourself as a student, and that's how I look at myself. So my dad's nickname was Kit. Okay, so my last name is Kitoko, so people used to call him Kit. My dad was good, man. Like back then, if they had YouTube, if my dad had a YouTube channel, man, I kind of wish he created content. Like it would be nice to go back and see, like, man, like that dude was like top notch. Okay, so people used to call him Kit, Kit. And he had his shop. Eventually he ended up closing it. And then after that he passed away. So my dream is to have my own shop and have a shop where I can work with my you see my nephew coming here at the shop. I want to work with my nephews, my kids. I want my kids, hopefully they will be interested in working on cars. Hopefully I can work with them. And yeah, so I said I'm gonna call my shop, I'm gonna name it after my dad. So I'm gonna call it Kit. So since people used to call him Kit, so I'm gonna call it Kids Auto and Truck Repair. So it's going to be the shop of Kit, auto and truck repair, and we will do our best to fix vehicles right. We're gonna treat people fairly. We're going to fix vehicles. We're going to charge people fairly. We're going to do great work. I'm all about fixing it right. I'm all about telling the customer the truth. I'm all about charging people what they're supposed to be charged. So yes, that's what we're gonna do. So my shop will be here soon. I'm working on it. I'll bring you guys along. I don't know if I'm gonna keep making those videos here, or yeah, it's probably just gonna be here on the channel. I don't think I'm gonna have like a separate blog for that. So yeah, I'll bring you guys along. Even when I go look at the property, I looked at a couple shops here that I'm gonna rent, but I didn't like the location, so I'm still looking. Yeah, and I'm still working with this company. They're gonna keep working with me. I'm gonna keep working with them. So great things are coming. With your help, with your support, we will make it happen. And thank you very much to all of you that have, write comments this afternoon. Oh, you guys are saying sorry for your loss, and thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate you all. I do this for you. I learn a lot from the comments. You guys teach me a lot. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. So I what can I say? What can I say? Thank you very much. So the name of the channel is gonna change. Okay, probably tomorrow. I'm gonna change the name of the channel. It's gonna be Kids Auto and Truck Repair. Okay, so it's gonna have the same name with the shop and my other social media and everything. So K Diagnostics is going to be kind of the name of the past from now on. Okay, and these shirts, these merch will be available soon. Now, if you want to support the creation of content, please go ahead and buy the shirt. Buy the shirt, buy the hat. I would really appreciate it. Okay. And then a percentage of the profit from this merch, I will donate. I need to figure out what cause I'm gonna donate to. Then we're gonna donate some of it. Okay. Thank you very much. We're gonna do this a lot more now that I know how it's done. I'm just new to this and I'm learning how this works. We're gonna do another live very soon in the near future. And then yeah, ask me your questions. Tell me, what you guys want to know, and then I can talk more about my story. I'll tell you more about myself. And yeah, but one thing I can tell you before I end this, I was the guy that didn't want to work on electrical issues. Okay, if you're struggling with diagnosing vehicles, if computer controlled systems are like really hard for you to grasp, my friend, you are not alone. Learn. There's a lot of learning material out there on YouTube, on the internet. Learn, apply yourself. Eventually it's gonna make sense. Eventually you're gonna be good. I was the guy that was only wanting to do brake pads and swapping engines and swapping transmissions. Okay, it's good. There's nothing wrong with that. I believe to be a well-rounded technician, you have to know how to do those hard jobs, but get good at electrical. That's the future. It's not even the future, it's the present. Get good at electrical. Learn, be better. Computer controls. To some of you guys out there who are doing this professionally, learn this stuff. It's good. You're going to be okay. With these hybrid vehicles, electric vehicles, as long as you keep doing what you're doing, as long as you keep learning, you keep growing, you keep progressing, you will be awesome. Okay, you will be good. All right. TST, yeah, TST is great. I was gonna be there a couple months ago, but I couldn't. But I'm sure I'll be to the next TST training event. Moral Age, yes, Moral Age is good. I have the books. Moral Age helped me prepare for my ASE test. Automotive seminars, yes, yeah, that's good. Check out Bernie Thompson, yes, yeah. Spiro Cardin, is that how your name is said? Spiro Cardin, yes. Bernie Thompson, that's my guy. Bernie Thompson, Scanner Danner, Eric O, Ivan, Diagnose Dan, all these great YouTubers that are sharing their knowledge with us. Guys, watch them and you'll be fine. Just learn and you'll be fine. Okay. So, thanks, my friend from New York City, Sparrow Cotton from New York City. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Okay. All right. So it's been over an hour and a half. So that's it. that is the kind of the big announcement I had. You know, the name of the channel is going to change. These shirts will be available soon. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and commenting and sharing the videos with your friends and your loved ones. If I missed your comment, I apologize. I apologize. I will do my best to reply to all the comments next time I do another live stream. This is my first time, so please cut me some slack. Okay. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. I love you all. I'm gonna leave this right over here. See you guys next time. Thank you.